Scalia. That's where I looked at you off Robert's show. It's a great thing about having Robert Langle before, but I get to pick all his guests, which I don't think he likes.
Good to be here, Baltimore.
No, but when you were on Maryland this week talking about the rebranding of Baltimore, that's why I wanted to get you in today. As we go through a mayoral election and you look at what the tone is going to be, I think a lot of people are looking for that rebranding of Baltimore on the city that this has been and can be.
The city, if you study history, this city used to be a great city. And there's no reason for it not to continue to be a great city. There's no reason. If you study it, I mean, there's a chart from the U.S. Census Bureau. Like for the first, since 1700s, it was top 10 U.S. city. And there's no reason for it not to be. And I was just talking to Ed. I took my kids down to the library on Cathedral Street. What a beautiful institution. Cities in the Southwest would love to have stuff like that. I mean, there's so much great stuff here, but there's one problem. And Ed had it before. People in the outside world don't know it.
Well, and another problem, too, Joe. You go back to the glory days of Baltimore. Baltimore was built on manufacturing. Yeah, that steel was important.
But we still have manufacturing.
No,
we don't. No. Let me back you up. Let me back you up here. We do, and I'll give you an example. I was 20 years in Vegas. They have zero manufacturing here. If you actually study, I have a friend of mine who works in an M&T bank. He's got clients. You have bottling, you have pharmaceuticals, you have avionics, you have military defense work. There's still. Now, maybe not like during World War II levels, but you still have it, and you still have more of it than other cities our size.
I'm gonna let you get on here. We're going way past World War II.
All right.
We had Burning Highway. We had
GM, Western Electric, Bethlehem Steel.
But that's a problem that the whole country's having. That's not just Baltimore.
Yeah, but we really got whacked in. But we made the transformation under William Donald Schaefer into a tourist attraction.
Right.
And he is responsible for doing that.
And you have you have Johns Hopkins, you have all the medical research. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on here.
There's plenty of good stuff going, Joe.
Plenty of good stuff. So I don't think there's any. What I was talking to Ed about is this: Baltimore doesn't realize this. It has a really great, diverse economy. That's number one. Number two is it's got great institutions. How many hospitals are there? How many medical research facilities?
Odds are you're going to get shot or stabbed when you walk outside. So you might
well, again, that's not true either. I mean, statistically, that's the perception. See, and let me tell you something. That's the problem right there. That's the typical Baltimore mentality in a nutshell. You just encapsulated how everybody thinks in the city.
Well, Ed, that's a little thing we call branding, right?
Well, we're going to have to do a job on whatever the election is done, and all this stuff is going to be regurgitated all the way up till the election. We've got to get back on track and be positive.
Do this for me, Ed. I want you to say this. All right, we'll experiment. Go. I'm Ed Hale. I built this bank for me.
Hey.
Would you open an account at that bank? Well, no. Perception is reality.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
perception is reality. That's it on my website, GreatBaltimoreBounceBack.org. I mean, that's sort of what we're talking about here.
Yep.
But I talk about the intangibles of what have happened here, and we have developer, business owner, business developer. Again, why do you come to the city? Why do you want to plant your roots here when you're worried about? Again, I don't really believe if these officers are found not guilty or acquitted, that there's going to be another riot. That's just my hunch. Okay, I don't know.
I'm concerned.
And a lot of people are. So right now, whether it's moving to the city, opening a business in the city, joining the police department in the city, most people avoid this thing like the plague.
Look, Baltimore is its own worst enemy. It's its own worst enemy. Since 1950, it's lost 1/3 of its population, while the population of the country has doubled.
Right.
And why is that? Because...
And who are we going to repopulate the city with? Illegal immigrants. That's not expanding a tax base. It may be expanding the population.
Well, let me help you out here. I spent 25 years doing criminal defense work in Las Vegas. Probably about 60% of my clientele were Hispanic.
No wonder why you moved to Baltimore. Twice.
Right. No, I'm not practicing law anymore. I promised myself I wouldn't do it. And, the Hispanic population is actually vibrant and thriving, and they all pay their taxes, and they all pay stuff in cash. It's not a bad demographic to have, and the city needs that. City needs it.
They pay regressive taxes.
Look, you're talking about you're talking about the Hispanic boom is what propelled Las Vegas.
Where are you calling from?
It wasn't. I mean, who do you think was building all those 30,000 houses a year?
If you're going to come in here smoking that stuff, you've got to share.
I'm just telling you reality. I'm just telling you reality. I was there, Jimmy. Don't tell me. I saw them building 30,000 houses a year, and during that period of time, how many houses were they building in Baltimore? New 30. So, let's not run our mouth, because I was there. Now, this is the problem with Baltimore.
Well,
Nobody's going to say. Nobody's got anything to say. I deal with
don't like
reality.
Vegas. I love Baltimore. I'm a homer. I'm going to be here, and I want to promote the city. I think there's plenty of opportunities for us to do many.
But this
good
is the
things,
point.
and I think that he's saying
this
the same
is
thing.
the point. This is the point.
Comparing
Vegas.
us to Vegas.
No. Look, there is no comparison between us and Las Vegas, and it's actually on Baltimore's favor. But people in Baltimore have this pity party about themselves, about, oh, woe is us, oh, we have these problems. Every city has that problem. Vegas has problems, but this is the difference. In Vegas, when you pick up the newspaper with Vegas, it's not, oh, they busted a meth lab, or 3 people were shot on the east side. That stuff happens in Vegas too, but Vegas is very good at creating the brand and the image of Vegas. When you say Vegas, it's instantly.
You had a great, we were talking about that at a break. This Oscar Goodman was your mayor, or is your mayor?
Right.
Still?
I know his wife now is the mayor.
Well, the guy was great. He promoted the city. He was out there
Carolyn Goodman
all the time. He was probably like William Donald Schaefer.
Yeah.
And he was very good at it.
And so what is Baltimore going to do? I mean, we have these routes and have a pity.
Building permit in Vegas versus Baltimore.
Oh, I've talked about that. I've talked about that. But what is Baltimore going to do? Is it going to shrivel up and die, or is it going to get its act together? That's really that simple.
Oh, look, I think we have our act together. Okay, I mean, you look at the Orioles, the Ravens, a beautiful convention center, Brewers Hill, Federal Hill, Fells Point, Canton, the Inner Harbor. There are a lot of great things, but it comes to expanding beyond those things and giving people a reason why they want to move to the city. And when you see again, perception is reality. When you see images on TV of hundreds of police officers being assaulted and businesses burned to the ground, I'm not a developer, but if I were, that's not what
But that also happened in Oakland.
They do. When they feel safe, they come back in. The taxes, looks like the mayor's trying to address the budget. The current mayor is, and the other mayors have. If you address that, get the taxes down a little bit, people will come. It's not going to take much, but it's going to be an incremental thing that you have to start.
Yeah, well, she's evolved on that. Okay, right before Larry Hogan won the governorship, she was looking at taxing banks. There's just more and more and more.
This is it. Baltimore has a chicken or an egg problem, and this is the chicken. How are you going to get 1 million people into the city with all these problems? I'm telling you, it's the exact opposite. You focus on the growth. You focus on the growth.
Okay, you outsource your citizenship, and that's the wrong answer.
Well, that's a whole other argument. What I'm telling you is this: you've got to get the place growing again, and a lot of these problems resolve themselves.